Fixed prosthodontics. Tooth preparation. Tooth preparation is performed for fixed prosthodontics in order to reduce tooth structure from the coronal portion of the tooth while preserving the natural anatomy. Adequate reduction is made in order to place a prosthetic crown on the preparation. Tooth preparation terms: occlusal reduction. Occlusal surface reduced while maintaining its original cusp anatomy. Incisor reduction. Reduction of incisor surface of the anterior teeth. Functional cusp bevel. Reduction of the cusp axial wall, vertical walls along the reduced circumference of the tooth. Margin finish line with the margin of the tooth prep. Core build-up filling of the tooth structure is due to caries removal. Core build-up filling of the tooth structure is due to caries removal as a part of tooth prep for crown. Occlusal reduction. Functional cusp bevel, margin, axial wall. Tooth preparation terms. Three principles of tooth preparation. There are three crucial principles that must work in harmony to establish a successful outcome of any tooth prep. Within each principle, there are special considerations that must be accounted for in order to achieve success. Biologic health for oral tissues, mechanical integrity of the durability of the restoration, aesthetic appearance of the restoration. Biologic, mechanical injury, more prone to thickness gingival tissue, facial premolars, and lingual molars. Normal injury related to proximity to pulp. Use sharp cutting, water spray, instruments, and intermittent light pressure. Material injury. Due to marginal discrepancy between crown and preparation margin. Chemical injury, socket retraction cord, certain cements can induce pulpy action. Mechanical retention form help to prevent removal of crown along the long axis of the tooth prep. Resistant form help to prevent removal of the crown by occlusal forces. R&R form short for retention and resistant form. Taper parallelism. Converging angle between two prepared opposite axial surfaces. Less taper, more retention, greatest operation control. While facial lingual or measure distal dimension of base, height of length, measure from occlusal incisor surface to crown margin, incisor to premolar minimum 3 mm, molars minimum 4 mm, height to base ratio 0.5 minimum, indicates that the taller prep can allow more taper. Features indicated for short preps: proximal growth for resistance, buccal growth for retention, thickness of ceramic metal must be strong enough, minimum porcelain thickness 1.5 mm, minimum metal thickness margin 0.5 mm, no contact areas 1 mm, contact areas 1.5 mm, minimum metal thickness margin. No contact areas, thicker. Minimum PMF thickness, no contact areas, 1.5 mm, 1.2 mm for porcelain, and 0.3 for metal. Optimal PFM thickness, contact areas 2 mm, 1.5 mm for porcelain, 0.5 mm metal. Clearance, gap between tooth prep and opposite tooth, 1.5 to 2 mm. May exist before reduction of the tooth. Less reduction required for tooth preparation. Less reduction required for tooth preparation. May exist before reduction of the tooth. Reduction occlusal tooth structure reduced during crown and prep design 1.5 to 2 mm. Aesthetic. Ceramics are more aesthetic than metals. Metal versus PMF versus all ceramic. Margins. Margins can refer to the margin of the tooth preparation or the crown itself. edge at the base of the ground preparation section of the ground that creates the outer boundary and attaches to the cover surface margin of the prepared tooth. Marginal location. The location of the tooth margin can vary. Supragingival above the gingival crest, equigingival as in gingival crest, subgingival below the gingival crest. Measuring types: heavy chamfer, thickness 1.0 1.5 mm, PFM crowns and some old ceramic crowns. Light chamfer, thickness 0.5 to 0.3 and 0.5 mm. Gold grounds. Shoulders, shoulder thickness 1 to 1.5 mm. More invasive preparation. Increasing chance of bubble embarrassment. Maximize aesthetics due to eliminating display of metal or ceramic crowns. Shoulder or ceramic crowns. Feather edge, very precise. Thin margin, optimal margin seal, less invasive, hard to identify. Insufficient clearance for most material to provide adequate material thickness. Feather edge, very precise, thin margin, optimal margin. Seal. Prosthodontics, shoulder, chamfer, feather edge.